Hey folks. I like making funny faces sometimes. Welcome to How to Rock Astrology. Today's episode we're going to be talking about what it's like when you have Mars and Venus, Mars in Libra, that is, ruled by Venus. Mars in Libra with the Sun in Leo. This is an interesting one. These two don't typically get along, really. Mars and Leo. Libra and Leo, that is. Now, the Sun being in Leo is expressing through, it's in its own sign, and it's actually, in Vedic reckoning, it's something called the Mula Trikona. This is the most Sun place that you can have in the zodiac. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the best place. The best place for the Sun is actually Aries, where it's exalted. With Leo, the Sun is very Sun. It's a little too much Sun. And that theme is going to overtake this situation. The primalness, the affectionate nature of Leo. The ego seeks affection here. It seeks devotional commitment. And it kind of wants to build on the feeling that it's with someone who is going to be a real ringer for a long time. They don't really like runny milk encounters. They really like cream feelings that they're really building by being with the person that they're with. Not even just like an erotic for its own sake. Not even necessarily like affectionate for its own sake. We're talking purely Sun and Leo here, because Sun in Cancer is more about like affection is enough. I just want to love. I just want someone to love me. Leo is the same sentiment. I want someone to love me. But the intention, it's almost in the same way. It's love for love's own sake in a certain way. But Leo needs to feel like the person they're with is inspiring them, building them, engulfing them in a sense of the energetic vitality that is life. They exude it, and they also seek it in others. Now, the Mars in Libra here is, it can actually do, it can be welcome in some ways. I mean, the West would say that this is a sextile aspect, and then, yeah, I'm kind of whatever about the Western aspects. I'm more of a Vedic guy. But I digress. The reason I think this kind of is good is because Mars tones down the Leo thing a little bit. I like to say that Mars is for the Sun. Mars does what it does in order that the Sun can get what it needs to get. Mars is the general to the king, which is the Sun, and the Sun is seeking a visceral, true, uncomplicated, earnest honesty with their lover. They want to just be able to have that big Leo laugh, and have a nobility, and even to be able to say what they want to say. And there's power plays involved with Leo too. And the Mars in Libra will come through as Leo tries to be the big daddy, or kind of like the visceral hot mama, and it'll be argumentative. Kind of possibly annoyingly argumentative. As we've said from our Mars and Libra video, which I recommend you check out, just to get a sense of Mars in Libra at its pure sexual essence. Mars in Libra is enticed by relationships. Not only it's a two-way thing. Mars gets Libra qualities, but also we can't forget that the sphere of Libra, I have the sphere of Libra in me. I don't have any planets in Libra, but Libra is a part of the cosmic makeup that I am, and whenever I interact, how I interact is going to be expressed in some way through Libra in my chart and in myself. So Libra is the sphere of communication, social interaction. And the sphere of social interaction for this person has an edge of Mars to it, because Mars only has so many places to put its aggression, its desire to not create. That's the Sun's thing. But Mars is more about manifesting. Mars is more about putting energy in a definite direction and building and building and building on it. And what Mars chooses to put it through here is social interaction, diplomacy. It's not Mars at its best. Again, it's a very neutral place for Mars. And it's almost like for this person with the Sun in Leo, Venus is going to decide the strength of Venus. If you've got a well-placed Venus, which here you might not. This is either this is a tough place because Venus only ever goes like 2 signs outside of the Sun at the most, because Venus is very close to the Sun. So if you've got Venus and Gemini would be like probably either Gemini or Libra would be the 2 best places for the Sun here, for Venus, because then Mars in Libra is expressing itself through the natures of signs that jive well with it. Gemini is a good place too because it's getting close to Pisces over there. Libra is a good place for Venus because then Libra is in its own sign. But if Venus is in Cancer, which it might well be because the Sun is in Leo and it's going to be close to the Sun. So if Venus is in Cancer, this will make an emotional, reactive need to grip the social sphere in conversation and what have you. And it can be dominating. Venus in Leo would mean that Venus is conjunct the Sun, and it would be also a bad situation because then there's an aggression again. Venus would be over dramatic there about how it handles relationships. Venus in Virgo is just as bad. It's nitpicky and perfectionist in an annoying way. The point is that if Venus is any of those places, then Mars in Libra won't find a channel for its aggression that's stable and that's productive, because Mars wants to nobly do Libra things and for it to be done well. But they have their energies, the Mars energy is there and it mucks it up. That's an annoying thing of having Mars in Libra, but it's not as bad as, like, there are worse places. Mars is way worse in Virgo, way worse in Cancer. Cancer is where it's debilitated. But I digress. Mars in Libra here is seeking to bring out a relationship richness, and it's up to Venus to decide whether that's overbearing, because this person's already a bit overbearing just by the Sun being in Leo. If you dig that vibe, then it's not going to be overbearing. But there's a lot of punch here. The air is fueling the Sun in Leo here, and because of the Mars expressing itself through relationships, this can be someone who's domineering and a little bit too much, especially for a man. If this is in a man's chart, then it's like the Leo Big Daddy vibe is there, and then the Mars in Libra is like, now let me tell you how this relationship is going to go. Especially if it's way too egotistical in that way. But it might not be. Might not get to that, because again, the Mars in Libra tones down a bit. Wants to feel like a good relationship. Wants people to see it and say, wow, damn, look at the glory of this Leo who has this person on their arm who's being uplifted, right? Not just for guys, but women in this combination too. Wants to show off the Leo through the relationship, because Mars is the general that does what the Sun wants. The Sun only gets one general. It's Mars. Mars is in one place here, and it's in Libra. This Leo pushes its glory and attracts and gets its glory through Mars being in Libra, which is, it asserts itself through ideas. It asserts itself through active interpersonal communication and an energetic imagination. It adds a little bit of cerebral, it's not just about having a devotional bang session. They also want, like, the atmosphere, and they want to be able to tell people that they had this good thing that anybody can relate with, that anybody would find enticing. Sun in Leo wants something that's enticing for me, that I know that would fit me, and that's good enough. I don't care who else sees it, because I know, how Leo is. Whatever I do is amazing to everybody anyway, because I'm the friggin' center of the universe. And it's true in a lot of ways. I'm Leo rising, and I know Leos, and it's just they have this. But just because it comes so naturally from the self That's enticing no matter what. But the Mars in Libra can add something that like everybody would find interesting, aesthetic style, this right perfect scarf or hat or dress that anybody would find enticing, right? It adds an aesthetic refinement to the situation. Although anything can go both ways. This can refine the Leo, but it can also add a little bit more arrogant demeanor to it, like this kind of aristocratic sort of vibe, which can be a bit too much. I mean, if that's what you are, it's your vibe, and you'll find someone who vibes to it. I just mean that can denature the nature of the sun, which is so primal and beastly. And that's what the sun wants to do, right? I digress. We've already talked a lot. Let's talk a little bit about the sun in Leo purely at its turn-ons and turn-offs nature. Leo is the most ardent and attentive of bedmates, but you would rather be alone than involved with the wrong person. The royal lion is status conscious and something of a snob. Mars in Libra exacerbates this, like I said. You must be able to respect and admire the person you love, and your ideal partner is intelligent, dignified, and classy. More than anything, your lover must always remember who is number one and act on this knowledge at all times. You are a star in the bedroom, and you know it, and you want to be certain that your partner knows it too. The lion loves seduction and foreplay. For you, making love is an art form, and fulfilling your erotic fantasies is a major turn-on. It's the fact that someone wants to do that for you. That fiery level of it. You're doing that for me. Sensual, unhurried lovemaking in lavish comfort appeals to the Leo more than grabbing a quickie before rushing off to the office. It's the whole sense of the thing. A grand display. The back is Leo's most sensitive area, and sweeping caresses over your back and spine sexually stimulate and excite you. You enjoy building anticipation for an erotic encounter by setting up the scene in advance. Sexy attire turns you on, as does dressing or undressing your partner. Although you usually prefer wooing or being wooed luxuriously as befits your regal status. The freewheeling, spontaneous part of your love nature is rejuvenated by unplanned, uncomplicated moments. The Leo kind of wants a bit of both of these. An occasional bit of impromptu, devil-may-care lovemaking can inflame your desires and keep your sex life fresh and new. I think that the Mars in Libra, we're going to find, puts more emphasis on less of the freewheeling, rock and roll, whatever vibe, probably more of the refined thing. The Mars in Libra is going to add even more emphasis and aggression and pushiness towards the grand display, the grandeur. And even like a bit of flirtiness. You know, they might even want to take this erotic energy in the intimate relationship and just show others. Just, God, can you just believe how we hang off of each other like this? We're so gorgeous, aren't we? You know, it's this adding it, whatever happens in the bedroom, pushing it out in the social sphere, wink, wink. We have a really good time, you know, that kind of thing. So, what's it like when you have the Sun in Leo and Mars in Libra as a combined reading? This comes from Erotic Astrology by Phyllis Vega. Same book. Everything that is beautiful, harmonious, and tasteful appeals to you. But you expect so much from an intimate union that the reality rarely lives up to your mental image. It's like the Mars in Libra is too aggressive about the idealistic, perfect, beautiful ideal. When you find your true love, you make a generous, caring, an enthusiastic life partner, but also an extremely demanding one. In bed, you thrive in the company of a partner who showers you with attention and approval, and has a constant confirmation that you're doing the right thing. You do that so well. I love the way you do that. Despite your strong sexual appetite, your ultimate aim is to take lovemaking to a higher, more esoteric level than mere physical gratification. Lovely. Even though the sexual appetites are so strong, this person does desire to take it to like a next level and a higher, an aesthetic sense that's more than just like us getting our rocks off kind of thing. A deep soul loving thing, and also just to love and admire the grandeur that is the human body of your partner and all these sorts of things, you know. And if Venus is well placed in particular, then this person will find that and enjoy the fruits of the human body. Particularly if Venus is in, again, Gemini or Libra, then there will be a lightness, there will be an understanding, and there will be an acceptance of what's going on that's not based on your own emotional need for some kind of more than just sex. Because sex is enough for a good Venus. But the sex will have this extra refinement naturally without even trying with Mars and Libra when Venus is well placed, right? So always consider the other parts of the chart. Ultimately, this is a groovy, sexy persona. Anybody would love the grandeur that this person and the effort and attentiveness that this person lays into every sexual experience because they're so enlivened by it. That's it for you, my Leo friend. Check out more stuff on my channel if you're interested and you're liking my vibe. I'm a tropical Vedic astrologer. I'm trying to add Vedic philosophy to this whole Western bit. So if you're into it, check out more of my stuff, subscribe, like, all that fun shit. I'm Dustin Cormier for How to Rock Astrology. See you on the next one, folks.